Why does time feel so different depending on the stage of our lives? Why does childhood seem endless, but adulthood passes in a blink of an eye? It's a question that has puzzled philosophers, scientists, and poets for centuries. Maybe it's because the way we perceive time is deeply influenced by our culture, our responsibilities, and how present we are in each moment. But to truly understand why time stretches and contracts the way it does, we need to travel back to the beginning, when humans first started to make sense of this mysterious force. Our ancestors didn't always have clocks or calendars. To them, time was the movement of the sun across the sky, the changing seasons, and the cycles of the moon. Time was measured by nature itself. They built the first sundials around 3500 BC, marking the start of our obsession with measuring time. But it wasn't just about tracking days, it was about understanding life. The rhythms of the earth gave birth to the concept of time as a cycle. In many Asian cultures, time wasn't linear but circular, like the seasons that come and go. So what changed? Why did our perception of time shift from these natural cycles to the ticking of the clock? The answer lies in the rise of civilization and the need for order. As societies grew and became more complex, the need to organize, plan, and control became paramount. The invention of the mechanical clock in the 14th century revolutionized the way we saw time. It gave us minutes and seconds. Time became a resource, something to be measured, managed, and even conquered. This marked the beginning of our modern perception of time as linear, always moving forward, always counting down. But in childhood, time still retains its ancient quality. It feels almost infinite. Days stretch on forever because children are fully present in whatever they're doing. Whether building sandcastles or creating imaginary worlds, their time is filled with exploration and wonder. Every moment is new, every experience is a first. Neuroscientists have found that this feeling of time stretching is linked to the brain's processing of new information. When everything is new, the brain takes longer to process experiences, making time feel slower. It's like living in slow motion where every second counts. In many cultures, children are encouraged to embrace this creative flow. They aren't rushed, they aren't bounded by schedules. Their sense of time is fluid, which allows them to feel like they have all the time in the world. And then adulthood arrives. Suddenly, time feels different. Days blur into weeks, and weeks quickly turn into years. We get caught up in the routines, responsibilities, and the constant chase of goals. It's as if the rhythm of time speeds without us even noticing. We often find ourselves in disbelief when we realize that certain events happened years ago. Remember that song you loved in high school? It's been over a decade since it first hit the charts. You catch up with an old friend and realize it's been years since you last spoke, even though it only feels like a few months. Why does this happen? And the most important question, why haven't you subscribed to my channel? And turn on the notification so that you can be notified every time that I post a video. So let's get back to the video. As adults, our lives are filled with responsibilities. We're no longer in the moment. We're constantly thinking about the next task, the next deadline, the next bill to pay. This hustle culture, as most of us call it, keeps us in a never-ending cycle. Our brains go into autopilot mode, focusing less on each individual moment and more on what needs to be accomplished. Psychologists call this the holiday paradox. When we do something new, like travel, time seems to expand because our brains are absorbing all the new experiences. But when we're in a routine, time contracts. Days feel shorter because they're filled with repetitive tasks that don't leave a lasting impression. In Western cultures, time is often equated with money. It's a resource we need to manage, not something we simply live in. This productivity mindset creates a sense of urgency, making time feel like it's always slipping away. But not all cultures view time this way. In many indigenous cultures, time is seen as cyclical, tied to the natural rhythms of life. The rising and setting of the sun, the changing of the seasons. People in these cultures don't feel the pressure to use time or manage it. Instead, they see time as something to flow with, to experience fully. So how do we slow time down as adults? How do we reclaim that expansive feeling of childhood? The answer lies in being present. By reconnecting with our creative side, doing things for the pure joy of them, and embracing the flow of time rather than rushing through it. We can change our perception of time when we bring more awareness to each moment. We expand our experience of time. Think of the last time you hung out with someone you love and gave them your undivided attention. without stressing about what you needed to get done. Or the last time you did something completely new without looking at the clock. It's in these moments when we're truly present that time seems to slow down. We can rediscover the magic of each second. By learning to be more present, to let go of the relentless ticking of the clock, we can make each moment last a little longer.